Hi there, Facebook. I am not in a very good mood right now, but as you join me, I'm going to be joined just for a moment here to try to calm me down just for a second, if my wife Ernestine will allow it, by our daughter Hazel, our almost 2 years old Maltese. She's tough, she's sweet, and here she is for her quick cameo. She watched the first half with me of this Cowboy game. Hi, Hazel. Say hi to Facebook. Hi. How are you? Hi, Hazel. That's a good girl. Usually she gives me a kiss, but she's not interested in that. I think she's mad at me. But that's okay. Thank you to my wife, Ernestine. And now, back to business. Hazel watched the first half with me. She would not watch the second half because she thought we were doomed, and she was correct. So, right off the bat, this is the only silver lining to what we all just witnessed. Carolina 16, Dallas 8. What a weird score. The only silver lining is, I said this on Undisputed. You can see us tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1, as I take on Shannon Sharp, and he's going to be in all of his glory tomorrow. But I did not think Dallas could win this game because of what I saw in the third preseason game, the dress rehearsal game, New England at Carolina. Tom Brady played the whole first half. Cam Newton played the whole first half. And Tom Brady could not move the ball against this Carolina defense at Carolina. Tom Brady barely managed 100 yards passing in the first half. Tom Brady's offense managed 3 points in the dress rehearsal first half, in which, trust me, he was trying. And the Carolina defense was really trying, and Tom Brady just couldn't get much going. So, I said Friday on Undisputed, I tweeted this, I just didn't think Dallas could win this game. But the frustrating part of it to me was, I thought I would see a completely different Dallas offense than I saw, because it was mostly inept except for that one burst early through the fourth quarter, that one big drive. And finally, I saw what I kind of thought I would see from the beginning. You have to establish Ezekiel Elliott. You have to establish Dak as a runner. Dak needed to be Cam, and Cam was Cam all too often. And Dak all too often just look lost, because if you just drop him back against that Carolina pass rush, the Cowboy offensive line was just getting their butts whipped, their former golden tails whipped. I mean, Connor Williams, I know they're high on him as second-round pick. He was just getting manhandled by Kawan Short, just manhandled. And it's not fair to Dak because he's on his back foot, but he just looked lost. And again, I just tweeted this. Does Jerry Jones want to lose? I don't know. I'm trying to get this through my brain, because he's got Dak, he's got Zeke, he's got a semblance of an offensive line. He didn't do anything to shore up the receiving corps. And I thought, well, maybe Dak will be able to bing, bing, bing it around and get everybody involved, where he'll have 2 catches, he'll have 2, and he'll have 2. And it just didn't happen. They continue to try to throw 5- and 7-step drop routes where it just takes too long for people to get open. I wanted bing, bing, bing. I wanted, to use everybody's term, Dak and dunk. I don't mind that at all, as long as you're ripping off chunks of yards and chunks of yards, and you've got the defense on its heels because you're using Zeke to establish the pass. You're using Dak off Zeke to establish the pass because Dak can run with it. We finally saw a little bit of read option down at the goal line, even some straight option down at the goal line. That's what I wanted to see from the start. Hammer him, wear out the defensive front. And again, they are really good, especially at home. And if you let Cam start front running and get comfortable, you're going to have a long day. And they had a long day, and Greg Olsen even got hurt early. So it could have gotten uglier as it was. But they hung in, and yet I said this, I tweeted this, I yelled this on Undisputed. What are they doing with Brett Maher? What are they doing? He's bounced around the league, he's bounced around Canada. What are they doing? What do they want to lose? Because that's just a losing move. That's what Buffalo would do. They would cut Dan Bailey just to save a couple of $1 million. and they would try Brett Maher, who's never kicked in an NFL game, and now he's tried one field goal, and he missed it to the right. And it was a big momentum play in the game. It's one of those where you feel like if it goes through the uprights, you have a chance, like you've finally got points, you've established something, and then you just take the life out of the whole team. I think that the Earl Thomas non-acquisition took the life out of the whole team. I was worried about a letdown. I was worried about a hangover, because I promise you that team over the last couple, 3 weeks, they thought Earl Thomas is coming to Dallas. I thought it. Everybody thought it, because it was on a silver platter. It's what Jerry Jones does. I don't know. So they're quibbling over a 2 versus a 3 for a while. And then it looked like Jerry in the end got the rug jerked out from under him. And he's a proud, tough businessman. And I guess it came down to his pride getting bent out of shape, because in the 11th hour, Seattle said, no, April Fools, we actually want a 1, or maybe more than a 2, whatever more than a 2 was. Maybe a 2 and a 3. I don't know what it was, but more than a 2 that Jerry was under the impression would have gotten the deal done. So he finally sleeps on it, and he finally backs off, breaks down, and says, okay, I'll give you a 2. And Seattle says, no, we want more. And it appears the whole thing went kaput. Well, I don't care if they wanted a 1. I want to see Earl Thomas. I want to see number 29 in metallic blue at Carolina. It's just, it gives the whole defense a lift like, uh-oh, we got a chance to be top 5. We got a chance to win games with our defense. And again, they didn't give up any huge big plays. Jeff Heath and Kayvon Frazier, Xavier Woods hurt. I don't know. It's just not enough. The defense played very well, but Carolina's offense is just average at best. It's sort of Cam or bust. And Dallas's should have been more Dak or bust. You saw the blueprint. They did to Dallas what Dallas should have done to them. And, you know, Dak got going and made a couple throws, but too often he just looked lost to me. He just, I hate to say it, but it felt like that awful stretch near the end of the year where he just was a disaster, because it felt like they couldn't move the ball until they got the Dak-Zeke read option combo going. And again, did I see people wide open? No, I did not. Did I see Dak on the one big play when he could have run with the ball, and he pulls up and tries to throw it across his body off the wrong foot to Blake Jarwin, who was the only breakdown I saw all day in the Carolina defense. It's Blake freaking Jarwin. And Dak tried to put it on his outside where he could kind of come back and out to the ball. He's not a receiver. He's not a big-time player. He's obviously not Jason Witten. What are they doing? And again, Swain made a couple plays. That's fine. But in that play, Dak just has to run with the football because he's 250 pounds. He can go. He's Cam. He's Cam-esque. I'm not saying he's as good as Cam running the football, but he's pretty good. And you just, I don't know what he's doing. Second-guessing himself, trying to prove that he can throw it. Just run with it. He could have run for 20 yards easily, and it would have been a big first down. And they were fairly miserable except for that one drive on third down. And they just looked inept. And I didn't want to see that. Cole Beasley made a couple catches. Tried to get Deontay Thompson free a couple times. And then the big late play. I have no idea what Jason Garrett is doing. They can't protect him. Listen, those guys are good. When Peppers gets cranked, he can still just wreak havoc. So they're coming from everywhere. It was clear Dak is throwing off his back foot, and it's 4th and 10. Just go ahead and punt it because you can punt him back. You got one of the best punters in football. Just try to pin him. Try to pin him at the 5 or the 10 or the 12, and then let the defense, which had played pretty well, try to get you the ball back with some field position. The field position was just horrendous all day for Dak. And again, those guys are really good at home. So am I giving up? I'm not giving up. Did you see flashes of what they could be? Yes, we did. I predicted that Ezekiel Elliott could have a record-breaking year. And again, this goes to nobody plays in the preseason. He doesn't play at all. And he looked like he hadn't played at all. And he was rusty, and he was a little slow and a little tentative at the first, but he started to get untracked. Well, you can't give up on it. You got to go away. How many times did I tweet? How many times would, in the second half, they would have a decent gain by Ezekiel on first down, and then they go empty, or they make a first down, and then they go empty backfield. What are you doing? Just keep Zeke in the game. He's the best back in football. You can't do that. And I know they said they're going to turn him into more of a receiver, but not into just a safety valve receiver. That's about all they had, was he would just kind of trickle out for safety valve passes. It's no good. It's not what I thought. I thought we'd see a little bit more of spread the ball, Brady-esque, where you're getting 7 or 8 people involved, and I just didn't see enough of that on offense. Again, I'm certainly not giving up. I'm not shocked by this, but it was actually closer than I thought it might be. They did get back in the game, and the missed field goal and then the missed 4th and 10 ended it for them. And it just makes me sick, because Jerry Jones, one of the great plungers in the history of the NFL, he finally gets in the Hall of Fame. I'm good with that. And then he rests on his laurels. And what we saw today at Carolina was resting on your laurels. It was Jerry Jones who sat back and thought, it'll be okay. And it won't be okay. This team is real close to being real good, but they needed an Earl Thomas, and they needed a Sammy Watkins. They need somebody. If you're going to cut Des Bryant, which I was great with, clear the decks. And if you're going to get shocked by the Jason Witten retirement, which I don't think Jerry saw coming, because I think it was just a gut check, got a chance to have one of the great seats in all of sports broadcasting, and it happened so fast, and Jerry got caught off guard. Well, if you don't, you got to go get somebody. You got to do something to get better. It's okay. He was, obviously, Jason Witten was getting older. He couldn't run after catch at all. Okay, so go do something. Show me something. And then they get snaked on draft day or night by Dallas Goedert. Howie Roseman goes up and gets Dallas Goedert 1 pick ahead of Connor Williams. And I think Dallas Goedert's going to be a star. He had a bad play the other night that almost cost Philly, almost reversed the momentum of that game. But he would have been your next Jason Witten. So you just don't do anything to get better, and you're right on the verge. And now I think it's starting to feel like Jerry just is okay with being mediocre. That's what it felt like today. You've got pieces on defense. Awuzie, I think he played really well today, because I think he had DJ Moore a lot, and DJ Moore did next to nothing, and I think DJ Moore is the best receiver in the draft. But in the end, it's just so close and so far. It's so frustrating. It's even more frustrating than I thought it would be, because I saw chances where they were good enough to beat a really good Carolina team at home. But you're just a piece away or a play away, and I'm not backing off. I'm just not backing off. And I'm not going to back off to Shannon Sharpe tomorrow. By the way, he's got his own splaining to do tomorrow, because Shannon Sharpe picked the Chargers over the Saints in the Super Bowl. So he's going to hear about that from me, because both teams lost at home, giving up, I forget what the scores were. Chargers gave up 38 at home. Would the Saints give up 40? Was it 48? 48 and 38? Is that right? 70, 86. So his 2 Super Bowl picks gave up 86 combined points at home. Wow, way to go, Shannon. At least I still got Brady, and Brady looked pretty great today. So I got that, and I still have a semblance of respectability with the Dallas Cowboys, because I'm not backing off. I still believe they can put it together and become a wild card team. But Scott Linehan, you have the best back in football. You just have to keep hammering him, or try something more creative. They started doing sort of little inside reverses to Zeke to get him off the edge, and all of a sudden they start gashing Carolina's defense. And once you start gashing, just go back to the well. Go back to the well and go back to the well. It's the deepest well in pro football. It's Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know. You saw it all on display, and yet they lose. They get to 4th and 10 midfield, and they say, oh, let's go for it. We can't protect Dak, but let's go for it again. Let's just go for it. What is it, 2-something left, 240? Just punt it. Punt them deep, hold them. Your defense has got Cam playing on his heels. and then try to get a little bit of field position where it's not 4th and 10 at midfield. Just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a Jason Garrett guy. I never have. It's Coach Clapp to me. That's all he does is clap. But that was a gutsy, dumb move. Cutting Dan Bailey was just a flat-out dumb move. Brett, her. I don't know. Well, what are you doing? Who is this guy? So I'm going to have a hard time sleeping tonight. But I'm going to fight back tomorrow. I'm assuming we'll open with the Cowboys tomorrow. I don't know. Shannon will try to bury them, but they're not buryable because you still have Dak and Zeke in that defense. I still think they're going to figure it out, but it better be fast because Undisputed is coming fast tomorrow. 9:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1. Me versus the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. It's the hottest sports debate on sports television. Thank you for your support. Thank you for our ratings, which are skyrocketing. We appreciate that. And Cowboy Nation, please come and support me tomorrow because I'm going to need backup. I need you there at 9:30 Eastern till noon Eastern. I'm sure we'll do at least 3 Cowboy topics tomorrow, along with everything else that happened today, and it was wild. That's what Undisputed will be tomorrow. I will be ready by 9:30 Eastern. I will see you then. Thank you for watching Facebook. Good night.